on this weekly candle closing at about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about 1 hour and 42 minutes from now. We've seen some extreme volatility on this last day of the week as far as it goes for the market on the candle. Start a new week here in just about an hour and 40 minutes or so. But when it comes to the overall setup for XRP, and I was a few minutes late, I apologize. I actually just got back home from Kalamazoo. It was like a almost 4 hour drive. Went out there yesterday, came back, was a quick turnaround. Because Michaela, the 18-year-old, is in going to college starting this year, and she got accepted into the honors program at Western, so she's off and away. So we'll see what happens there. So we went out there and set her up and had a quick turnaround to come back home today. But I want to do this live, and I want to show how the setup looks in regards to the macro. Still looks awesome. Even the micro looks fine right now. But I want to show in a micro perspective what we're looking at here, because today we had to move up to $3.10 and we broke back down. But all we are is, in my opinion, I feel like we're stuck in well, maybe not stuck, but we're consolidating in what looks like a pennant flag. This looks like it was just an artificial breach over. I don't think that that's the actual measurement, though, because we were measuring it out like this, and then it had a breakout back in. So that just looks like an artificial push up in the micro. And honestly, when you're setting up in a little pattern, it looks like a little flag set up there. It looks like a pennant flag. That's just categorized by lower highs and higher lows. Now, this could have been a breakout, but it turned out to be artificial. So that could be it's interesting, because now, I mean, technically it could change the pattern into more like this, but that's if you reassess it now. I don't usually like to do that. I like to see it play out, in the starting part of it. Gave us the evidence here of the drop here in the 4 hour. Well, I'll show you in the 4 hourly what I'm talking about. Gave us this wick in the 4 hourly that we can clearly see. That's an over wick. It's so tough though. Like, do you go up here now and just call it a little channel? You could call it a still. But I'm trying to see it for short-term micro sense. And I still think that makes the most sense with an overzealous push out. And it's important for timing here, because if it breaks down and it's in a setup like this would give us a short-term drop just down to like maybe 288, 289, somewhere down here. It wouldn't invalidate the structure. I don't really want to come down that far, if I'm being honest, because we have a beautiful setup right now. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because it's left shoulder, head, right shoulder. It didn't invalidate this structure, boom, boom, boom. Man, it looks like a little flag there, and I do feel like that's the way it wants us to see this. I can see it in like a little bit of a channel forming as well. Like maybe we should, just because then we can be like, well, we did form a top layer there, so if it breaks out, we're going to have to break a new layer now. So I guess maybe for that sense. So then if it gets up over here, I mean, we were saying 312 before validation, but now since it made this push up, maybe it'll end up being like 315 instead of 312. But yeah, I kind of feel better about that now that it formed that little. But anyhow, we don't know what's going to happen here, because if it breaks down, then we come down to the first target would be about 288. And the only reason I say that is because we still have this 4 hourly death cross that we're trying to invalidate. But right now we found ourselves like basking on the 200 day. So it's interesting because this is trying to form a short-term reversal here, but we need that carry through. We don't want to invalidate the structure. So, and then if you look at it from not just the micro and you look at it from more of a macro perspective and you start to build in what's going on, I mean, you come here, resistance, all the way through resistance, and it does seem to make sense for another push up here regardless. Just a short push out of here. Actually, I suppose you could even come out here. I don't like doing that because you had all this evidence here and you would have played it like that. And you got another hit here. Yeah, see, I like that a lot better. A little overzealous push, perfect. And then if I was looking at it in the macro, I'd look at it like this. And be like, okay, well, what the hell's, what are we going to do? I mean, in the 4 hourly, it's one thing, but when you start looking at this in the daily, the weekly, you can honestly start to see. And the reason I go back to here, because when you look at it in the smaller time frames, you do get an area there where you did get you see it out bounced here. So it takes the 4 hourly to see this, but this is actually where that support bounce started for the push up. Like up, back test, boom, down, back. And then you kind of had to push out. And we could go farther back. Like, that's the thing. We can represent the whole pattern. That's not an issue. You know, we can represent it just so it looks better. But then I asked myself, do we just lower this, you know, the way it looks? And all that would look like is, well, you make it look like this. You tighten it up a little bit. And then it makes it look slightly different, right? But I mean, it's still the same pattern. It's still the exact same thing we showed. But this would represent how you get there, in my opinion. That would represent the whole thing, how you actually got there. It would show that you have more basic knowledge in the micro setup back here. Here, let me show you. So I think this would give it more credibility, because then it proves, when you're looking at it from a wider standpoint, whoever was making the chart up understood the micro time frame right there, that's a layer of support, and understood if that broke, then this layer down here would end up coming back into play. So that's just my opinion. So I mean, there is a gap at 250, but like, it can extend down, but I can't talk about, you know, we can't talk about 236 until 250 breaks. We can't talk about 250 till 278 breaks, or 262 breaks. So it's like there's so much stuff in between. But as we get closer, then we can start to divulge it. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that this plays out, because I can still see a shoulder, head, shoulder. I can still see it. We can still see it. Flag. I can see it. You know, so sometimes you just gotta, seeing is sometimes maybe not believing, but at least it'll give you a basic understanding once you start to realize what you're seeing and understand that this is not, unless this breaks down, it almost looks like deception at the highest order, because we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. It's all we can do. We'll see what happens. You know, I've been vocal in the Telegram talking about the setup and things like that. So I think that's a valuable tool to have just when I'm not live and things like that. Micro time frames are trying to prove a short-term inverse head and shoulders with this setup. Now, the one thing I will say is I could see it opening up to something like this and then still having that. But see, that's where you get all dicey, because then you're trying to form the pattern and try to predict the future. All we can do is go with the short-term evidence, and then we'll know if it falls out where that micro setup would be, somewhere around like 288 or so, which I prefer it not to go down there. But it struck liquidity here on those shorts and longs within that candle. I mean, think about it. We had a push up here from Friday, about 10%. And then all of a sudden today, and you know, after that, we had a pullback down of 4.3. Then probably entice some people here. Bottom of this candle, we went up 4.4% real quickly. And then probably got some leverage longs here as well. You probably got some leverage longs. And now that's down 3. Boom. Yeah, so on a 10x trade, I mean, that's why I say spot, let this play out. And then you can seek out. You can seek out. Let's see. Am I wrapping up? Am I wrapping up what? I don't know what you mean. But like, I mean, unless this pattern breaks down, to me, as long as XRP is sitting over this setup, it kind of feels like deception here. Like, it really does, because I see a lot of inverse head and shoulders, even in the micro here setting up. And even when you look at the overall pattern, it looks like an inverse head and shoulders. And I don't know, it just doesn't, it feels slimy today what happened. Think about it. XRP went up to $3.10 just And so did the rest of the market. Not maybe as much, and some might have went higher. But the whole market artificially pushed up for about, I don't know, an hour period for some reason on my drive home. And then all of a sudden, within like a 30-minute period, it had crashed in a sense. So if you, it was absolutely seeking liquidity, and longs and shorts got absolutely demolished in such a short amount of time. While if you're in a position in the spot, I'm telling you, you sit back and you're like, ooh, this is nice. So it's bouncing around, you know. XRP started the week. And let's look at this weekly candle. And before I do, good evening. 6:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, August 24th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So look how nice that candle looks when you look at it from the overall. This weekly candle was down at $2.78. That's a mighty reversal here. I don't care who you are. That's a beautiful reversal. At least pulling it back up 7.9%. That's beautiful. Then you look at it in the daily sense, and it's kind of, you know, and it almost looks like an inverted hammer. If I didn't know any better, almost looks like that. Looks like an inverted hammer. It didn't even give away anything in this candle either. So it's gonna be a spicy meatball to come this after the Sunday night candle closes. Yeah, we're stuck right now for the next hour and a half, but we're stuck in a spicy. The only thing that I see that could be a problem, as you guys know if you're in the Telegram, is the fact that short term, you know, could have, excuse me, and you have to look at it from here, but the short term could have, and I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm not even saying it's going to happen. But in the short term, it could have, and it makes sense, built up a drop here if it breaks down. And, well, I mean, I don't want it to make sense because then it invalidates the structure. And then it could bring us down to 2. See, I don't want that to happen. So, but that's what could have possibly set up here. And that's what we're looking to invalidate here in a very short order. It's just, in the few minutes that I've been talking, it's actually doing the opposite. And we just don't want this to break down. Once this breaks down, it's going to be a small problem. And then if you look at Ethereum, you know, setting up that almost looks like a micro, well, I don't want the 1 minute. Prefer at least a 15, but in the micro, yeah, that looks like it's set up. It's either going to be a double bottom there, or it's set up a tiny little bear flag. I said 4,400. Well, it depends, because if we actually come down farther, but I don't know, somewhere around 4,500. So we'd come near that 4,484 resistance that was over there for a small moment because of what happened in the prior part of the pattern. So, you know, there's the tiny micro that could be a problem. But, you know, you look at some things in the market, algo. Yeah, it had a little push up, but, you know, it's starting to show the same similarities here now. But, I mean, there's such big inverse head and shoulders. So if you're in a spot position, even if algo did come back down to 24 or whatever, that's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. I'm seeing a lot of potential here in the in the macro. He sounds like it. This macro just looks phenomenal. These inverse head and shoulders, I mean, if these get invalidated, we're going into a cold, dark, a very deceitful crypto winter. Let me tell you, if this were to fall through, you're going to have a lot of time to figure out what you want to do. Okay. Oh, I know, on my screen. Yeah. Let me say hi to some of you. I didn't get to do a live last night. We did one earlier yesterday.
Yeah, we had a weird.
Yeah, I explained it. Now tomorrow T gets to go to GI doctor, so you know. At 8:45 in the morning. Get some stuff taken care of. Mike B, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. The Fine Group, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your 3 months plus with the XRP Meteor and a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. He actually put out the Sunday edition in the Telegram if you're part of it, the newsletter. I think it's the 6th one. It was fantastic. He says, hey everyone, hit that like on the way in. Consider subscribing and joining Tom's Army for the best technical analysis on YouTube. Take advantage and gain exclusive Telegram access now. Don't miss out. I agree. I condone that message, Julie. I know. I'm trying to have a not in your face, huh? What do you mean? I know. I threw everybody off. I came in quiet today. More straight to the point, not in everybody's face. Julie called me out on it, see? Every time I talk quieter, somebody's like, you're talking quiet. I know. I'm being more raw. It is today. What up, Tom? Sold half my Ethereum at 5K. Good morning, good evening, B-Dog, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Not a bad idea. What? Not a bad idea selling the Ethereum. At 5,000, I can put in something else too once we have the drops. Why are you laughing at me, Julie?
It takes effort.
I know it does. It does take effort.
It's so hard for you to talk.
It is. Joseph Euler, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. Frisky Auto, good evening. Messi, welcome in. G-Stock, good evening. And along with Road Less Travel, thank you both for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Crazy Paul, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Mo, good evening and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I don't know if I would call this a dump. Somebody said nice dump today. I don't know if I classify it yet as a dump. Messi, only because, well, I mean, for liquidity, yes. Good dump for liquidity. But I mean, it was an artificial rise and all it did was come back down to where we ended Friday. We just haven't gone nowhere. We're doing the up and down, but we really haven't done anything. This is good. Because when we open up, the CME's not going to be... The gap's going to be prevalent to the upside. It should be. Which is nice to see. Hopefully. Ringneck, welcome in. The heck was that bump all about a couple hours ago? Leverage liquidity. Whenever you see it go up and down like that and just end up in the same spot it was at before the artificial rise up or push down... That's just grabbing leverage, both sides. Short and long leverage liquidity. We need liquidity to make market moves, and they take it from the leverage traders. That 4.5% move on XRP, anybody who was at like a... If they would have opened it up there after the drop back down, which has been... Because you know what happens. It showed a tease breakout. Some people might be like, oh, this is the perfect time. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, breaking out of the short-term formation. It gets up here at 312 or 310. And now just, well, on the initial part of the drop, it was 4.7%. So that means on the push up, you probably liquidated some of the shorts, obviously. But then you get people that are buying top, and now they're getting smashed right now. You know, and then what ends up happening is they're down 47% just in a 10x trade. They've already put their stop loss. If I know leverage traders, they're looking at this formation before it breaks out, and if they would have bought somewhere, they're just putting their stop loss somewhere here, and then they're like, oh, I'm doing good. I only lost, 10% instead of 40. But you still lost 10%. That's what everybody forgets. You're still losing 10% of the investment. You might not be down 40, but you still lost 10. You could have just put that in a spot position. And then the other topic I want to talk about, I shared it on Telegram earlier, but I came on a few days ago and I talked about how I wouldn't condone nor would I be shocked, and I actually said it was an opportunity if you bought XRP at, if you were sitting on 10,000 tokens around 34 cents when we bought it in 23 and you hadn't sold any, XRP was sitting at about $3.40 and BAN was sitting at 64 cents, and I came on and said I wouldn't, this would be a momentary opportunity, but it's one of those things where you could technically shuffle if you haven't done it with XRP around, and you could get 1,000 and get 5,000 banned, because I wanted people to pay themselves back, and I'm trying to explain how you can take one asset and turn it into so many more after runs. So with XRP, once it got up to the run, you're up 10x again for the third time. you know, as it comes up and down, up and down, up and down. I was trying to explain, like, you can sell 1,000 of them, and for example, is just where it was at. You can buy 5,000 band. And then I said, but you could sell 2,000, and I explained it in the Telegram again, but that's what I was saying. So you could have 8,000 XRP and 10,000 band. Well, now that XRP went down to $3, so you would have lost $4,000 there, but you sold 2,000, got your initial investment back times two, and still had 8,000 tokens. Now you also have 10,000 band at 64 cents, and now it's up to $1.04. Yeah, it's down 10% today, but you bought it at 64 cents. The reason I say that is because I've seen a lot of people miss that opportunity. Then they thought it was just okay, you know, after XRP dropped and band went back, you know, parabolic. They're starting to flip out of their XRP to buy band. But that movement in that exact moment was missed. Now you have to wait for those movements to line up again. And not because I don't think band's going to outperform XRP going forward, because I absolutely do, because of just positioning. 164 million tokens, severely undervalued. Should be somewhere in the teens, the mid 20 range price wise, if I'm being completely honest. It's a data oracle, which I think oracles are going to do very, very well in this next cycle. And if you don't know what that means, all it simply means is it can get the external data off of the smart contracts for the blockchain. That's what a data oracle is. So it goes deeper. It can get that external data that is so important for a smart contract to communicate with the blockchain. And then it also can connect any IoT application plus any other application through data. So it's not just an IoT token, but it technically can run just like an IoT token. But now after that big run, yeah, it had to have a pullback. That's a huge run. And I mean, I would dare say we're going to find ourselves possibly back at, if this were to run all the way down and it started testing some of these areas, 94. I mean, that's just an obvious point. So, but now the whole point is now you're sitting through this. Like, it could even be building a cup and handle here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if band was doing something like this. If it did something like this. Okay, so it came down, came around. Actually, no. It hit this point. And then what if it does, maybe it bounces somewhere like that. It either hits here and retests that, or it bounces to this lower layer, which it's basically at right there. So, but I think it's building a cup. And once that happens, we're going to have our first short-term target. Assuming it doesn't invalidate it. We already know that this was a cup form. Whoops. A cup formed right here. This is why it's cool once this starts happening. Let's see. So we needed at 118 roughly. We're not going to go all the way down. I think that's good. Because we don't want to overshoot it. So, I mean, we finally have a short-term target if this happens. And we already figured it would be up here somewhere around this area. But this is targeting around $1.70. This is nice. But obviously, this is if it doesn't get invalidated. But this could very well be a dark horse here in the race, which I don't even know if I'd call it a dark horse. But I do know that this has tremendous opportunity. I have a hard time putting it above $1.64 just because of what I know in this pattern. Here, I'm going to do us a service. 164. And then let's just say it does reach for the stars. And it does go up here. 172. And the cool part is that doesn't even cover much of this pattern. I mean, we don't even get up to the top of this consolidation. I put 172 over here just in case it takes out until, what is that? November of this year, which I think is the best opportunity for us to have that mega. But look at how we're setting up. I mean, this is spectacular. I know some are looking at it down 9.4%. All I'm doing is salivating, saying, oh my God. I've seen this set up before. I've seen that immaculate cup and handle before. Just like I've seen XRP set up before. Honestly, I've never been so confident and precise in what I do, like within myself. And for some reason today, I'm like, don't talk loud. Try to have one live where you don't talk loud. You practice what you preach, and you don't let the emotion even come out in your voice. You just talk. And Julie tried to ruin it at the beginning, which is okay. And that's true because the angels are watching 222 in that XRP 30222. The price has been this whole time, Julie. I've been saying this to you. It's still at that exact price. 30222.
It's just funny because it's unusual.
And the angels agree because it's still at 222, which is unusual.
Good job.
Thank you. It's unusual for the price. Oh, there it goes. She just had to say I was doing a good job, and then the angels bounced away. It was just unusual for it to stay there that long. But I'm pretty confident in what I'm saying and what I'm not pretty. I'm really confident in what I'm saying and seeing. Let's see. Israel Reyes, welcome in. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Road Less Travel, thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted. How do I think Iota's going to do in this all season? It's going to blow the fences off. I just don't know what I'm going to do now without it, but, you know, I'm not going to harp over that right now. But I think it's going to do tremendous. I think it's going to do tremendous. Mark Casson, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So Bad to Recheap Farms. And Crypto Cooter, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRB Predictor. Nick, welcome in, a very, very trusted mod, and here in a technical advisor on the Telegram. I so look forward to seeing all of his information. Oh, I love it. I love his FVG takes as well because it really narrows it in the micro, especially in the macro though, but he does give you those micro, and I see a nice comment. He says, what if I told you XRP hit an FVG, which is a fair value gap, and dropped instantly, but still looks wildly amazing? I'd say I 100% agree with you because it left it in the short term. And what if I told you, Nick, as you already know, that liquidity is needed for this further breakout. So we were able to capture some liquidity from the short and long leverage traders. Anyone who did like a 20 or higher, the average leverage trade, I kid you not, for retail is like 35x. I'm not even joking. The average leverage taken out by retail is generally around 35. I don't understand it either myself. That's like 2.75% market movement, which it can be achieved by literally, you know, the market makers pissing in the wrong direction. So, which is the trading bot. Maybe it has a bad day, maybe it flicks its wrist, or maybe it just sees that there's so much leverage in one area and it just, I'm just an algorithm. I'm designed to strike these areas. I just think they're liquidity bots. Some people think it's stupid, but I've seen this before in full tilt poker. Well, it was not full tilt, but it was Texas Hold'em. But the site I used to use, and then there was a whole bunch of others. But they had a Texas Hold'em bot, and I'm like, what the hell are these things? And you'd end up starting to face people for real money, head-to-head or in tournaments, and you're like, what the hell is going on here? And then once you got used to knowing it was an algorithm, it was the easiest thing ever to beat. You're like, oh, this is a trading bot. This is great. And you just steal the people's money. Always. You just play the algorithm. And that's what I started doing in trading. But I learned to take one asset, like XRP, and then having conviction that it's going to do something. And that XRP went from 3,500 or 3,400 to 34,000. Even right now, that 3,400 is 30,000. So let's just talk about it like that. And now you can start to spawn off of things. And yeah, we did buy a second bag if you're new at 38 cents. I bought 5,000 worth, which has already been disbanded over $3 sold. But you can disband it into other bags now. Like that's why I was trying to say with band and things like that. You know, like you can make the bag work for you and then you still have an X amount. But that's not for everybody, obviously. That's just, you're looking to make things expand a little bit and you want to cash in on what you do, you should always take your initial investment back. And especially if you waited 8, 9, 10x, you've got a big opportunity to do something incredible, even if you didn't have a lot of funds to start. Anybody who 10x's, you can make incredible things happen, even if it was $2. Now you have 20. It's 10 times easier. If you had $20, now you have 200. If you had $200, now you have 2,000. You know, if you had 2,000, now you have 20,000. You know, if you had 20,000, now you have 200,000. That's the point. That's where we're at right now in the next chapter. If you started from the beginning, a lot of people come and go. But some stay, and the ones who stay now, they've seen their zeros go from, hey, we've got $100, now we've got $1,000, now we got $10,000, now we got $100,000. The next 10x move is $1 million, you know, for our portfolio. So it's like we've done all these steps, and now the biggest baby step is going to be, I think, the easiest one. The one that comes next is going to be the single easiest one in the history of markets to read. Everybody who thinks that this isn't going to happen, I have news for you. There's no, in my opinion, there's zero chance this can't happen. No, I take that back. 0.7% chance, because you can never say 100% unless I said it that I guaranteed we were going to sub 40 cents and that the bull market was over in 21. I shouldn't have done that because you open yourself up to liability, but I was right, so I guess it doesn't matter. But I'm not doing that anymore. So 99.9% chance that this alt season has no choice. I don't know if it's going to happen today or in Q1 of 26, but I'm telling you right now, with QE coming and rate cuts guaranteed, you can't convince me we're not getting rate cuts. So rate cuts equal risk assets exploding artificially, temporarily, and then having the biggest, most brutal, most unbelievable bear market you have ever seen after that runs out. So I would say enjoy the next 6 months or however long the back end of this lasts. For anybody who says that there'll never be a bear market again, you are going to eat your hat so deep that you'll be shitting it out next bull season, because that's going to be the only thing keeping you warm. You're going to get stripped naked. You think the last bull, the bear cycle, was bad? Wait until you see what they have in store for the next one. A lot of the top end liquidity is going to be leaving. Wow, Julie, I scared away 21 people while I was talking fact. See? You see how that happens? That's interesting. I'm always interested. I'm always interested by how many people leave when you're trying to tell them exactly how to build wealth, and then just leave. And then you go talk about, if I came out here and said, oh, we're going up to 17,000, I go, oh my God. Yes. It's interesting, though. I find it interesting. I always do. Hell, be damned with what the guy's saying. He hasn't cut his hair since 2023. In July, what the hell? I know I scared away the bag holder. That's what somebody said. I'm a bag holder right now, though. I'm a big bag holder. I would eat my shorts right now if the market collapsed by 50%. I'd have to sell James's outhouse in the backyard. What, Julie? You want me to relax right now during my live? Julie wants us to relax, everybody. So now that 30 people have left, let's see how many more people we can make leave. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta go get relaxation. I might be scaring people because I'm talking
I'm not talking silent. You
Silent.
talk silent.
talking silent.
Silenter is not a word. Thomas, somebody said, don't you dare, Tom, my God. James, is that who you said you were going to take
Yeah, he lives out back in the tree. He's the one who eats our vegetables. It's not even
Ernie?
yeah, he's actually Ernie.
He's the Ernie?
Yep.
He's cute, though.
See, Julie and I are talking. Now there's only 84 people. You start talking logic and everybody says,
Who's getting your ice cold beer? You're talking to me, we don't drink beer.
let's see. The Fox said if you had 200,000 or 200, oh, Jesus. Yeah. It's every cycle, though. It's the cycle thing. So the micro is what tricks everybody, because everybody looks at it and they're like, oh my God. The micro doesn't matter unless you're trying to make a position entry. But even then, the micro still doesn't matter unless you know the macro perspective. So the only time the micro actually matters, one, if you're a leverage trader, but you can get very quickly fooled as a leverage trader by the micro because the macro plays out and you're like, well, wait a minute. I bought a bear flag in the half hour, in the 30 minute, and all of a sudden it went up 12% and I got liquidated. What the hell happened? Well, that was a nice bear flag in the half hour time frame, but if you would have just pulled it out to the daily or the weekly, you would see that incredibly big, W reversal on the pattern, and they'd be, oh shit. How do I get my money back? Well, that was somebody said it sounds like a relaxation grinder. It sure was. It sure was.
To relax.
We did need to relax. Yeah, we had a.
We're still in emotional turmoil.
Yeah, well, 18-year-old's gone. She had to go to school. Yeah, she went to, well, I've already said it, but she went to Kalamazoo, so obviously, Julie, it's just my +1 kid because it's not my actual child, but it feels like it because I've been with them since, 12 years almost. But Julie's like, I don't know, time just went away. Happens to the best of us, though. We start to get old. But you know, the wisest thing you can think, though, is how many people didn't, and some of you are much younger, some of you are much older than me, but think of no matter where you're at. If you're young, just think of the great opportunity you have to learn in a community that is actually willing to create abundance for all. We're not looking for your money, you know. So, and I've been doing this since March 24th of 2021 so we can grow together. If you're my age, just be blessed, understanding that we understand what we need to do going forward, and that not everybody makes it to their 40s. And if you're older, be blessed and, you know, and embrace every single year, because there's a lot of people that don't make it. You know, I hope to be sitting here at 75 years old talking to you guys saying, man, oh man, what a ride. And Julie's going to say, are you going to cut your hair yet? It's been 35 years. And I say, well, what makes you think the wizard's going to cut it now? By then I'm going to look like a wizard.
Well, if you start sitting then or you might have to
Something tells me I
might
just...
have to just give in to the man bun.
I'm not doing a man bun. I'd rather sit on my hair than to get a man bun.
You're going to be offending the people out there with that range.
Well, that's not my problem.
Somebody said you have no.
I could do a mohawk. But you know, I mean, are we scared? I'm just asking the audience: is anybody scared right now, or do you see what's happening? Because I think you understand what's happening. If I didn't know any better, I would say this micro is all a bunch of bullshit. And the macro is speaking and kicking us in the teeth right now, saying, hey, listen, you know what's happening. What the micro is great, but the macro is beautiful. Heat map shows XRP to 265. I could totally see that happening.
What's a little spoon?
A what?
Little spoon.
What little spoon?
Somebody said, listen here, little spoon. What's a little spoon?
Listen here, little spoon. I don't know. Who said that? James. Oh. Let's see. Some people said no man buns. Plus, everyone is at a different point. Yeah, they sure are. Everybody's at a different point right now. Trying to learn from the shadows. Cowabunga, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And you know what's funny? Ironically, age doesn't necessarily give you experience when it comes to markets. Some people started much younger. Some people started when they got older. Like, I didn't understand the markets until I started to understand them just before the pandemic hit. The pandemic allowed me to expand into it with a little bit more money when they would just send those, I don't know what they would call them, stimulus or whatever, when they sent us like 1,500 or 20, I think it was 2,500 they sent. And I'm like, I don't want this. And well, you didn't have a choice, you had to take it. That was the actual stimulus to make us stay, you know, inside our houses. Not the monthly one that people were fraudulently collecting. I'm talking when they sent it to everybody and you just had it. And one I didn't even cash, so they put it on my tax return like 2 years later, which was interesting. But you know, experience comes in all forms. Like if I would have been trying to do these shows when I was in my 20s, you guys could laugh at me because I was coming at you with no experience. I'm coming at you with the experience of a lifetime. Look at this setup. That is so nice.
I asked in your chat until somebody said they're the big spoon now, and I really want to know what is a little
Okay,
spoon?
Julie asked a question. James Dula. She said, "What's the little spoon and big spoon?"
'Cause
You're-
define
Why are you asking me? You're a fan. You can ask whatever you want. I got to deal with James Dula asking about his spoons
Well,
and eating my
define
lettuce.
said he's the big spoon.
What was I trying to look up? Oh yeah.
He's stupid.
Don't feel stupid.
Defined as my little spoon.
So
But
is
define
what-
said he's the big spoon. Uh-oh. Are they up?
Are they what?
I don't know.
Don't say it.
I can't, because I don't know. I don't know what their problem is.
I thought you were gonna say something.
Am I supposed to know that?
No,
Okay.
you're fine. No, not Bitcoin. I don't care about the hyperliquid map on Bitcoin.
Oh, there are a couple?
Who?
Defined and...
No, they're not a couple.
Somebody said they were.
Well, they are definitely. Ah, you guys are making Julie think you're a couple. FYI. And you guys don't want to stick around for technical analysis. I pity the fool who doesn't watch this show. No wonder everybody leaves.
I just want to...
If I could actually say what I wanted to say, I'd get kicked off the air in 2 friggin' seconds. I can't add my opinion to this conversation.
I just want to
Oh. Let's see. Define what's gonna happen when your wife watches, huh? She's gonna think you're living in a box with James when you're not, when you're off at work in my backyard. For some reason, Baltimore, I thought you said herpy, and he said XRP. See, thanks a lot, guys. You're putting us off topic now.
But it's
So,
I still don't know what it is. Nobody's saying it.
I know the heat map, but I'm trying to look at this other one for a sec. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look at the positional poll, but I can't find one that shows the positional poll on every single exchange. It makes you split between exchanges. I don't want to split between exchanges. Somebody said, are you watching right now? The one who said the other one, not on CoinEx. Somebody shared one before. That was a much better chart setup, and I can't freaking remember what it was. Long, god darn it. That's what I want. No, not Doge. See, that's a pretty nice one. Exchange trade long versus shorts right now. In the daily, look at those long versus shorts. It's pretty split down the middle. Yeah, if you're looking at it. Wish it would go farther than the daily, though. 12 hourlies in the long favor still. What the hell happened on Huobi? 86% is going short. Wow. In the 30-minute. That's a lot. I'm looking for a discrepancy. Look at that on Huobi. In the hourly, 78% are going short. That's a big... Why so many on there compared to the rest? That's a big separation. I don't know. This is what I do. Julie sees me on my phone, and I'll be going through stupid charts like this. Miss G Stott, welcome in. And you know, just with the way the conversation was going, I'm reading through and I'm seeing... Oh my god, I can't even say what I'm thinking. I'm not going to go down that road and get banned. But, let's see. So I just hit my... I'm going to get a water real quick.
Right?
Who knows? People are hitting bombs and then talking about banging each other.
That's what happens when people bring up things. That's what I get for reading your comments. It's not your fault.
You just need to have a live. I'm telling you, this would be the funniest thing. Listen, guys. Listen. This is why I need to have an animated series. With this episode, Julie could have been like, and they would show a drawing of Julie. So what is the big spoon and little spoon? And because of the definition, all of a sudden you get a fake character who defined with technically in James, and then you see a scene unfolding. And then you would see me like, wait a minute, what, Julie? That's not what's happening here. You got it all wrong. He's married. And he, you know, he's unfortunate enough to have to live in a box in the backyard. And then be like, no, I'm not keeping him hostage in the animation. But it would be so cool. Like, it's all a misunderstanding. There's inverse head and shoulders. Don't you assholes see it? It'd be like in the,
I did Google it, so now I know it.
But let's get back to the charts. Can I just ask you guys to do one thing for me? Read through the comment section with your dirty mind on and start reading these comments. You know, and then you it just if you look at this and your dirty mind's activated like your high school mind, like, it's so funny. It's so funny. Like, oh my God, it's so funny. Welcome in, everybody. If you missed what's going on here, you might want to start from the beginning. It hasn't even been me. I've been on my best behavior. It's been, well, Julie asked the question, and then it all snowballed from there.
Well, I wanted to know.
That's why we have to have a live podcast. I'm telling you, I've been expanding on it, and I think my audience is going to take me to task finally because they're asking about it. I really want to have, and it's separate from my live technical analysis, that we're just doing this on YouTube, and it's a live call, and so all you're going to see is me. It's going to be like Peter Schiff style. And, you know, I might have something behind me so that if you need to see, or I would have it in front of me, and I'd switch the camera in front of me is what I would do. And I'd have my other screen in front of me if I needed you to see something. And I'd be controlling it because it's touchscreen right behind, but I'd be talking, and I'd be like, oh, let's look at this stupid monitor. What happened today? Because somebody'd bring it up, and then we could play a clip of it because we'd have it right in the moment. I think that'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. So let me get back on track here because we're 47 minutes in. And I think the people who just came in are like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't even want to know what's going on. So XRP at 303, let's see. So if we look at the cryptocurrency futures here, longs versus shorts, I like to see it sometimes in writing too. So in the last 5 minutes on XRP, 7.28 million short, and let's see, 7.28 short compared to 8.7 long. And then you start to see when you go longer and deeper. But I don't know, it's pretty split right now. Those are pretty split. I think it's interesting the exchanges they chose to use, but here, Julie. I don't want anything.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's see. I mean, I think we get a good idea though, but I want to see the actual heat liquidation map that shows us. Let's see. I feel like it might have been a coin glass one, which I don't really like that one the best, but at least I know. No, not this one. Hey, buddy. Yeah, Daddy's almost done. He's confused because I'm not talking loud. I confused my son because I'm not talking loud. That's what I wanted to see. What's this? Did you guys see this? It's this. I didn't know that they added this. The CME futures. Oh, that's huge. Wow. That is pretty fucking cool. I did not know that. That's a pretty big discrepancy between Bitcoin price and open interest. Maybe I shouldn't show that right now. Jesus Christ. All right, I'll have to look at that. I'll have to look at that later because that's a different one. I was just curious. But yeah, I'll just go look back it up. I thought it was I know this is the one I used to use, but it doesn't seem to be set up in the same way that I mean I remember it being like this, but this used to be on the other side. But I mean I'll still use it. But it used to be more involved. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, see, we need a wider one. Why is it so short? Let me go into the monthly. Did he go towards the outside or his rim? Well, look, see everybody, this makes perfect sense. Look where the liquidity's at. I mean, that's where the liquidity's at. The liquidity's above us. It's so obvious, and where the chart's pointing, it should go up there. I mean, I'm telling you, this should go up there. We really shouldn't have a problem. I mean, it depends what depends what the AI wants to do, but I mean, there's so much liquidity up there. There's nothing down here in comparison. I'm just telling you, there ain't shit down here. In comparison, it's all above us. It's wiped the floor clean below us. It really has. It's wiped the floor clean. Wow. Look at that. You can get a good look at a bone steak by sticking. So true. So true. Jorge, thanks for continuing in Tom's Army for over 10 months now. Sporting that predictor badge. I really appreciate that. And a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. Anyhow, let's see. Well, I'm going to end this too because my son wants to go outside. And I want to spend some time with him. Obviously, I mean, a lot of people did not like the antics, apparently. But it's good. It's good to stay open. It's good to stay open with the ones who really care. Take your time. Let's see. Did they liquidate the shorts so they can? If they liquidated the shorts, yes, that's one philosophy. But I believe they took the liquidation of the shorts, and that allowed them as well to liquidate the longs after it went up when people were buying that way up, and then it dropped across the board. Some dropped more than 5%. But at least in XRP's case, it dropped 4.7%. So I felt like they liquidated longs and shorts in one straight narrow stretch because it's very unusual for people to leverage under 20x. I don't know why. Even when I used to do it, I'd be afraid to do more than 10. And I have a vast knowledge, and maybe that's why. But I don't like the leverage trade. I feel like when you build it right, you do it from a spot perspective, and then you're not meant to trade more than you have. I know it sounds crazy, but you can't just go from trading $100 to $1,000. Otherwise, you don't understand the minuses and the pluses. Like if you're only used to having $100 and now you're trading it at 10x and now it's trading as if you have $1,000, every move you're sweating your balls off. Literally, you're gonna have a stroke because now every time it goes and moves, instead of you losing $2 or $3, you're losing 20 or 30, and now you're like, oh my god. I only got $70 left, but if I would have said, hey, you started with, $100, and I'm like, you got 78 left, you're like, well, that's only $22. It's like, well, or what if I said you had $2 left, right? You have 98 instead of, and then you're like, oh, well, that's not so bad. Well, it's like, yeah, but instead you did this, and now you've lost this, and now you're kind of in a bad spot here. Because it's only moved 2%, but now you're already down $22 or $20. And like, oh my god, you're sweating your ass off. But if you had 100 and you're down $2, yeah, that's it. What can I do? It's a 2% move. I'd rather you get killed by the 20% move. Don't let the market makers steal the money. That's all. Don't let the market makers steal your money. We can build this properly. I'm telling you. I promise you, just go back at our history. We can. We can do this. Jorge says check Coin Blast time. Ooh, Coin Blast. I love this heat liquidation map too, though. Coin glass. Heat. Oh, this is it. If it still has the same one. Oh, wait a minute. They updated. Nope, this is better. No, they updated this. Wow. Let's see. Oh yeah, they definitely updated this. You know, sometimes it's better to just keep it simple. Yeah, we'll just go to the first model. I mean, they definitely changed this. I wish they wouldn't have done that. Oh, let me just see something. Yeah, I wish they wouldn't have done that. It was so much easier before. That's okay. That's okay. Let's go into the monthly first. Oh yeah, you can see clear, definitive over the top. Over the top. Even when we used the other one, it was showing that same over the top volume. This is just using less data for some reason. Oh, I don't want me to have to put the liquidity threshold. Well, that's cheap. So, super charts and man, they really switched this up. Damn. Yeah, they switched this up a lot. I think it's easier to see it on this one now. This one I used to use originally, but then the other one started to be. I think they updated too much. I'm gonna have to look into that. But this gives us more of a data point. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look into the other one. But yeah, that's definitely a good way to look at it right now on the heat map. Yeah, there's a lot of liquidation up there. I mean, the chart's pointing to push up near 330, 3. It is. It's actually set up in that kind of a pattern. Especially what we talked about when this live started, how it does seem to be in a pennant flag. And yeah, if it comes down, we always talk about it just so we know. But that's not what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to push us up towards the top of this pattern and then over. I think this short term is meant to just push us over this micro consolidation. And then once we get out of here, then we can start making some noise because that's an inverse head and shoulders. That is such an inverse. That's an inverse head and shoulders until it's not. And until it's not, this is super fucking bullish. I don't care what the micro says, even if it does drop a little bit. This is not bearish in the least. We have not been this bullish in years. Especially on the continuation. There's no reason XRP can't find itself over $5 here. I'm not talking 100 like some of these schlubs on YouTube. Going to $100 by the end of the year, I guarantee it. Well, suck my balls because you're going to be wrong. No joke. If it goes to $100, I will personally invite these people. If it goes to $100 by the end of the year, I'll invite these people to shake their hand because, I'll go do their show. If it gets to $100 and say, God damn, I was wrong and I am so happy. I am the happiest. I've never been so happy to be wrong. Because then it's worth $1 million. Or I mean, not a million. Wait a minute. Yeah, it'd be worth $1 million. Those 10,000 tokens from 3,400. So yeah, it would hurt so good to be so wrong and say, I think 5 to 630, is our max bet by the end of the year if we got on a big run. Oh, I would love to be that. Could you imagine if I was that wrong? You only missed it by 20 times. Yes! Oh my God, yes! Oh, I'd come on, I'd start crying. I'd be so happy. I was so wrong. I was sleeping and it went to 100. I would be so happy. Oh, I wish one night I went to bed and I came on here and I had the biggest smile and said, you guys just have to come out here and say I was wrong. I was wrong. Oh, we were wrong. I just, that's how I want to come on and say it. The heat map G-Stot is technically showing, so you know how we talk about leverage traders? That is showing where their liquidation level would be above and below. So if you're going above, that's where the shorts would get liquidated. And if you're coming below, that's how much long liquidation you have. So basically when we're looking at this map, we see a nice inverse head and shoulder setup, a nice pennant flag setup, nice W Gartley reversal below with the inverse head. So we're looking at this saying, well, you know, all ends are pointing to the top. So we look below and say there's not much liquidity. So long traders now who basically got kicked. I'm going to be honest with you, Mrs. Stott. They are in pain right now. After that push up here, there's a lot of people that were buying 20, 30, 50X. I promise you. Because they're looking at it saying, oh my God, I may have missed XRP at 35 cents. But now I'm going to buy, I don't know, what's an example? Somebody's got, what's rational? Somebody would have $500, right, Mrs. Stott? And they have 500, so I mean, where was it at? Let's just say it was at $3, and they're like, God, I want that 10,000 tokens. I'm part of this fund. So they bought 500, so now it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Holy crap, how much leverage is that right now at 500 at $3? 10 would be, oh my goodness. So you're talking like, you legitimately would be talking like a 50, oh my God, that's like 55X. Well, let's just get them covered. Let's just say they have $750 and they're doing like a 40X trade. So let's say they did it at like, yeah, because they legitimately would have to do 500 on like a 50X, more, 60X. So if you wanted to have 10,000, wow. So just think about that. So let's say they did 50X. They had enough to do it at a 50X and they're convinced it's going to go up. And that move, they bought, you know, they're waiting for a confirmation. They bought it like 310, let's say. Well, that moved back down to $3. They just lost that. Let's just say that's all their money. So instead of just admitting that I might not have bought it when I wanted, I like XRP, and maybe I can only own 500 tokens, or maybe I can, instead of buying XRP, I look and I'm like, you know, let me go look across the board and see what pops. And you're like, oh, well, look, there's band, well, not today, but back then was 64 cents, and this XRP Future Millionaire is saying for some reason it's a better buy than XRP at this point. So maybe I should buy it, or at least look into it, because this is not financial advice and it's for entertainment purposes only. But maybe it might make you open enough to look at it. So right now, though, getting back to the point, is that with this setup, it's telling us short liquidation. So all the long traders right now, there's not much liquidation left. That's why I'm convinced. There's some, but I'm convinced that a lot of them got wiped in a scenario that I was just telling you about, Mrs. Stott. That I think they were pushing high leverage so that they could have the amount of tokens they wanted. And they were waiting for an opportune moment. And because it's an inverse right shoulder set up within a micro inverse head and shoulders with a bigger macro picture as well. And then with this micro bull flag sitting here in what looks like a pennant flag, they really wouldn't have had any reason to fear except for the fact that they got caught a little early. And they could have put too much leverage. And then that equals out how some of this got, there's nothing here in the middle. All of this is exited out because they probably lost it somewhere on that drop. Now there's some farther down because they opened it on the drop and that's how you get the smaller, but this whole level got liquidated on this push up most likely. And then the drop back down. Now the shorts are starting to eat. They said, oh my God, I wanted to go short and I got a second chance up here, and they started going short even more. So now if it comes up here, you got cumulatively, at least with the amount that they use, $164 million that will be liquidated out of short traders and XRP from a monthly perspective at $3.38. Now, if we break it down smaller and we say, well, we want to see in the 2-week perspective, it should still point to the same area. It's going to be small. Look, there's even smaller micro level here too that has a lot of liquidation. This is good news. So this points to our, remember the chart? So at $3.16, wow. There's $144 million at $3.16 as well. That's crazy. Let's just see just what the chart says. What's at $3.16? It's funny how this all starts to work out. Remember, it's analytical, right? Remember, it's an AI doing all of this. So, where's 316? So we'll try to find where 316 would hit us. Look at that. Wednesday. No. I want to put this in the exact spot. Look at that. So the liquidity on the map says there's all that liquidity at 316. That's the resistance of this pattern right now, right in that spot. And if it goes to $3.16 when we hit it, because that means that's the make it or break it area. So you got to break over that and hold that liquidity after you bust it. So now you're seeing that and you're like, well, isn't that the area we just upgraded? Because we just talked about this. Instead of it being 312, now it's got to be around 316. And we didn't go from this. We went farther down and we seen it. So now we know we've got some confirmation here. Not just the pattern if we start going up. The first liquidity area is $3.16 in a big way. And we stop short. Like Frank Costanza. I mean, what's his name? When Kramer, and if anybody watched Seinfeld, it's just, I've never used we stop short really. But it just gave me a good memory from Seinfeld. When Kramer was driving Mrs. Costanza and somebody like pulls out and he puts his hand in front of her and she's like, they said to stop short and Frank gets mad because he's like, you used my move on you? The stop short's been my move. And then it got into a big, it was funny. I don't know, some of you won't even remember. Yeah, see, some of you remember, that's my move. Just like the Festivus for the rest of us. Oh, those are some timeless classics. You probably wouldn't put those on TV now. I think even people would be offended by Seinfeld these days. Weekly, and then I gotta go. It's been over an hour, but it's been fun, hasn't it, Julie? He doesn't want to go outside, did he? He just wanted his thing. Is he still using it? I think I confused him, Julie, because I was talking over. Because he walked over here and I was just talking, and he's like, okay. See, it's experiment proven. He just doesn't want me to talk with my high pitch. See, guys, if I talk like this, T might let us do the lives. And the smaller micro moments, too, as we got lower in these. Look what happened in the weekly. We cleared out the weekly, like Nick was saying. This was a heavy liquidation area. He was talking about FVG, but we cleared that out in the weekly. So now we've got to look at the higher time frames. We cleared the weekly out. Now the 2 weekly, we see it at 316. It's funny when you start looking at this. Whoop. Come on, go up to that other spot. 316, 317 has some too, but right around that 316, 317. And that's every one of these areas has that much. So 155.29, then it gets a little more extreme. Different areas have different amounts, 316. And then if you come up here at 319, there's 87 million. Down here, there's 76 million. Way down here, there's about 57, nothing here. It's all dead. There's very small amounts. It would behoove them to even go down there at this point. That's what I mean. Right now, it doesn't even make sense for the market makers to go down there. It'd behoove them. It'd behoove them. You know, that would be like going to find, I don't know, your passcode. How about this? This would be like trying to find your secret passphrase for your cold wallet inside of a pint of needles. Or inside of a needle in a haystack is your passphrase, like your password. That's what you'd be looking at. Yeah, but see, when you start to match moves from 2017, you're not matching apples to oranges. Do you expect the same amount of growth to occur in the overall market cap of crypto in that same time frame? I think just a lot of people are going to be sadly, sorely disappointed if it doesn't go to where they think it's going to. I think all these artificial expectations, when you're not using, okay, 2017 did that, but the price was that micro fraction. Expansion, the first expansion is always the best expansion on a new asset coming to the market. I mean, you can look at it across the board. Now you just have to have steady patience. You be happy you bought it at 35 cents, or be happy you bought it at 70 cents, or be happy no matter where you bought it. If you're looking for that expansion now, I don't think you're going to get that same percentage now. Not to say it's not out there on some things, but XRP's already made a catastrophic dent in that philosophy by how it's already done it. Well, it's going to do good things, but to expect that big of a move at the price point it's at, it's calling for too much market cap. Some people, they laugh at me when I say it, but for some of the moves people are calling for, it take more money that's in circulation right now in the world. Like, it's not possible. So you want XRP to have more money in it than is actually circulating in the entire world. I'm not saying yours at $30. I'm just saying some people that are calling for these extraordinary numbers. And then the argument that I see with the emotional ones, they always say it to me. Well, Ethereum did it. Darn it. And so did Bitcoin. This is bullshit. And it's like, yeah, but Bitcoin has millions of tokens. 25 million or so. You know, it's like, if XRP had 25 million tokens, it'd be at $1,000 right now. No, it'd be more. Can somebody do the math? If XRP only had 25 million tokens, can somebody please do the math real quick for me? I would be internally grateful. So just say XRP has, here. Let's go to my website, which you are all free to use. Ooh, it's all the way up to 180 billion now. Excellent. So, no, we need circulating supply right now. It's 58 or something. So do 59.4 billion, or 59.4 billion divided by 25 million. Can somebody tell me? What multiplier? No, see, what multiplier? I don't understand. What are these fancy multipliers? Now we're multiplying because it's XRP. No, multiplying is all bullshit. You don't multiply it. What is... Do I think XRP will hit 86,750? No, I don't. No, I do not. I don't think XRP will ever. If you told me 2,975, I wouldn't think it at 89,000. So if you did it by 25 million, it'd be there you go. So if XRP had Bitcoin's market cap rate, or Bitcoin's total circulating supply, so hold on, let me make sure. Bitcoin's, I was doing it on a, all right, define, I'm sorry. Do it on 19.9 million tokens. Do it on 19.9 million. And do it based on XRP's market cap. This is how you could get that number if you're trying to compare it to Bitcoin. Because apples are not apples in this case. They're apples to oranges. It's going to teach you guys something. I got you, McMichael. 8, 6, 7. I like it. I like the joke, actually. Asking for Jenny, I love it. 27,839. So, if XRP had the circuit, is it 27,839? Is that really the price? Waiting for confirmation from one more person. Because it's a good way to show it. How did we get to 45,400 subscribers? When I went to yesterday it said 45,200. Huh. $7,200 a token? Is that what it is? 9,000, okay. 180 billion divided by 19.9 million. This is what I needed to hear. Okay, so if XRP, and hear me out, and now you'd be talking about it's better than Ethereum. Right now, would you guys be complaining? If XRP had Bitcoin circulating supply, it'd be worth $9,000 a token today on the same market cap it has. Just let that sink in. So if you're comparing it to, because Bitcoin can do it as your only argument, Bitcoin only has 19 million tokens in circulation. XRP has 59 billion. So it might not look like it's doing good, but just think about it. You know, it's a big difference. That's a big difference. So yeah, you could get XRP 8, but that's why I tell you to look at things now. Do you guys think Band could hit XRP's market cap right now? Just, I'm asking an honest question. Do you guys think Band could hit XRP's market cap? Because I personally think it can hit its market cap with what it's doing and the fact, well, I don't know, maybe the exact size, but we know it can hit $3, but you can look at it looking at like, okay, well, Band, how much of a market cap would it even take for it to get to $3? Now look at the difference. Now, can somebody just do this real quick? Band, 164 million, and all we're looking to do is get the XRP, XRP's market cap. How much would Band have to get to? And then you would see why it's unrealistic to just say, oh, it's going to get the XRP's price. And then you look at $3 and see the difference in market cap. See, it's all a big thing. XRP burns as it gets used. No, I mean, come on. They burn. Listen, that's another thing that always bothers me. That doesn't matter. So they burned 50,000 tokens. There's going to be 100 billion of them. The burning of it, you don't want them to burn it. That defeats the purpose of XRP. You don't want burned tokens. You just... We have a great live here. Math is good. 180 million divided by 25 million equals 7,200. Okay. 7,200. So if Band had XRP's market cap, it'd be $1,112 because it only has 164 million tokens. So, you know, that's what I mean. Now, how much of a market cap would Band have to have just to get the XRP's price now? It's minute to what it... So it's all different. It all runs on different... I would dare say there's no reason Band's going to be lower price than XRP. We're going to sit here one day, and I keep calling Band the next XRP as far as our portfolio is concerned, because I thought getting 10,000 tokens for $6,400 was even more special than getting 10,000 XRP for $3,400. Maybe not more, but it was equivalent. Maybe the steal of the century, if I'm being honest. Are you talking about XRP? Probably not. Honestly, with everything that's going on, XRP's uniqueness, it fades to me every single day as far as just being the only game in town. I think it's the big deceiver of this bull market for the new people. So is Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP are the deceivers of this bull season with Solana. And you could throw a few in there, but the big boys, the ones who suck up, you know, a large part of the market cap, even Chainlink now, because it's amongst new traders, they're seeing something that's gone up so much and they're like, I gotta have some of this. But just the ones that are, you know, in the top, I think they're going to be the deceivers, and XRP falls into that category. Not for the ones who bought it, like literally, a deceiver, I mean, if you buy it at $3, you might be looking at a 1x. And you're going, oh my God, it's at $6. I'm saying, oh my God, we're at $6, 3,460,000 now. You know, so it's a different perspective. Yeah, you still want to exit, but just think about it. If XRP's at $6, I got a strong feeling that a few of these other ones we hold, I don't know where Band's going to be at that point, to be honest with you. I am so interested to see what that token. I never thought it'd be at 64 cents in 2025. Sean was like, listen, like, you got to read up on this. And I did finally. And when I finally got done with it, I went, oh my fucking God. It's a data, for one, once I understood it was a data oracle, never looked deep enough to know that that was part of it. I'm always like, oh, it's not an IoT token. Well, that's only because it technically is an IoT token. It's just so great of a token that it exceeds the standard framework and the standard definition of an IoT token, which is in our things, because that's for connectivity of smart anything, smart tools, smart utilization, smart everything, smart houses, smart cars, smart phones. I don't know, smart. I don't know. Would I be surprised if breast enlargement surgeries became smart something with AI? Probably not. But anyhow, smart anything. You know, you control people control their doors in their house and their lights, which I'll never do. But I can't go over there and lie. I'm not going to offend people, but you get the picture. So, you know, that's what I mean. Look at Zach Rector's videos on the XRP multiplier. Says $1 million you buy. Oh, say no more, Zach Richter. I'm not making fun of anybody, but I mean, that's who you're. I'm just that. That's the guy that. Is that what's going on? Zach Richter's the one telling you guys about the multiplier. I should have known. I should have known it was someone. How many people? Is that what's going on? I'm gonna end this live. I'm already overdue. Have a good one, everybody. We'll talk more. We'll talk more. I'm gonna do my friend a favor with LAES because I also love LAES. I'm gonna put it back on my chart because I know it broke that formation. And I know the Dow was the way it ended. This had to have had some kind of bounce back on Friday. That's it. It was actually on a nice tug here. I was really hoping, and I know it's being greedy. I was really hoping it came down to 48 cents. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's probably becoming time to do something here because now it's actually, this could be the shoulder forming, honestly. But we'll see. But I gotta go. Be blessed, everybody.